Hey, what's up, Instagram and Facebook? Wow, Instagram and Facebook came online at almost exactly the same time. That almost never happens. Happy March, everybody. I'm gonna be totally honest with you from the jump. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I don't just mean like generally in life, although that's would be an apt description of where I am right now. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on in my life. I have no idea what's going on with my practice. I have no idea what's going on with the energy. I have no idea what's going on with the world. I have no idea what's going on with you. I have no idea what's going on with the angels or the star family or the 12th dimensional blah blah or I don't know anything. I don't know anything. So I'm just gonna start this video for March by saying, if you're here for answers, keep fucking looking, because I don't have any. This is a weird place that we are, y'all. It's a fucking freak show right now. Although I will share with you my latest art journaling. I just started this one last night. I just finished the lines this morning and then colored in this. This is sort of my abstract version of a camellia flower. I love camellia flowers because the sacred geometry that's present is just astounding to me. So I do know that I can still doodle and journal. Too bad I can't fucking sell this. Or I should say, if anyone wants to buy it, I'll sell it. Happy March, first of all. Thumbs up, heart emoji. Actually, we're just gonna do all poop emojis because that's the mood I'm in. Fuck this shit. So give me poop emojis. If you are, I don't know, if you're here, if you're alive, if you're breathing. I won't even say like if you're happy that it's March, because I don't even know if I'm happy that it's March. I don't even know. The theme for March is what the WTF? I have no fucking clue. That's what I will title this video. But I still have my coffee. Some things never change. Where do I even want to start? I don't know. You know, what I do know and where I will start is this morning, the past couple of days, the past couple of weeks, the past couple of years. That's the kind of update this is. The past couple of weeks and really months, I would say since the beginning of the year, have been so strange and so intense. And this morning, after a couple of days, right, because it's March 2nd, and normally my updates come, well, no, I would say that actually I'm kind of on track. I promise I have a point. Just bear with me while I sort of gain some traction. The past couple of days, the past week really has been a very, very strange week. And I have really no idea what's going on. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like, that's not just me being, funny or whatever. Like, the tea is that I really don't know what's up. I have a general sense, and I'm gonna share with you what I know. But this morning was me sitting there like, what the hell am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna share? I don't know what to say. I don't know. I have no answers, right? And I kind of alluded to this in the last update, in February's update, as I was saying, like normally I sort of show up with a hook or I show up with, some sort of idea or a nugget that I can sort of expand on or build around. And I don't have that. I really don't have that. And this morning this week I've been putting so much pressure on myself. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about that. But this morning I thought, you know what? The one consistent thing in my practice has been, and since the beginning, right? Because I'm going on, I think 5 or 6 years, sort of depending on when I count 2012 as the beginning of my practice, even though it wasn't really until 2013, 2014 that I actually started working directly with people one-on-one and doing my YouTube channel and all of that. But in my mind, it's been about 6, 7 years that I've been doing this. And the one consistent thing has always been that my job, primarily and fundamentally, is just to show up and share my truth. And whether that's the truth of what's going on with me personally, the truth of what's happening collectively, the truth of what may be happening sort of individually with my clients or whatever, my job has been since the beginning to just sort of show up and share what's happening, what's present, where I am. And, that's also one of the big cornerstones of my work, is that meet yourself where you are, right? To stop holding ourselves hostage and saying that, well, I can only be happy when A, B, C, and X, Y, Z are in place, or until, this stuff, so we have a tendency, and I raise my hand here too, to put all of these qualifiers and all of these requirements and all of these conditions, right? There's key conditions, because what are we, unconditional love, conditions. Put all these conditions on my experience, and, generally speaking, we love to do that. And my job, as I see it, is to really, I sort of had this moment of insight the other day that really, when it comes down to it, my job is to remind you who you are. My job is to help you remember. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you remember how powerful you are, how loved you are, how infinite you are, how amazing and wonderful and creative you are, literally creative. But all of that is built upon me just showing up and me just sharing and me just being present and saying, okay, I meet myself where I am, I meet the world where I am, I meet you where we are, and that's the place that we start. This week has been really intense. And I know I'm not alone. So thumbs up, heart emoji, whatever emoji, if you're feeling like this past couple of weeks have been really intense. And I put so much pressure on myself to be the guy that has the answers. Not just for you, but for myself as well. And when I don't have the answers, I get a little anxious. I get a little, really anxious this week. I get really, really hard on myself. And what I'm sharing with you, the intention behind what I'm sharing with you, sort of my personal experience, is just to share with you where I am. My intention is not to shame anyone or blame anyone or put pressure on anyone or guilt anybody into anything. That's why, and when I'm sharing what I'm going to share with you, you'll understand why I'm making these qualifiers. But I have to share what's going on with me, Andrew, the person, the human. So the past couple of months have been really, really challenging for me from the perspective of not just my own personal experience of kind of trying to figure out like where I am and where's my head at and what's going on and all the intensity that we have all been going through, right? I've been right there with you. But the questions around how do I do what I do and how do I show up in service and how do I walk the path and how do I help and assist and lead and guide and nudge and whatever, but also the practical reality of how do I pay my bills? How do I make sure I have enough money to continue to do what I do? How do I support myself? How do I create a reality for myself where I have what I need? In the past couple of months, I haven't really had what I need, at least not from my perspective. And so this past week I found myself being really, really hard on myself. And sort of what my process is when I'm being hard on myself is, I'll look at things and I'll say, okay, like 700 people looked at the link for my event. They clicked on the event, but only 30 something people showed up. I set out this thing and only this, I start to get really, I call it my little, my regional manager. So I go into this mode of like when I was working retail, and I've worked many retail jobs throughout my life, but I've also been in management positions, and I know what that is, right? The district manager, the regional manager with the pen. And so how are your numbers this week? So how are your numbers this month? What's going on with your staffing? What's going on with your budget? Why didn't you miss your goal? All of that. And I've been putting all this pressure on myself that I create these offerings and crickets. I promote my stuff and crickets. I give people an opportunity to, show support financially through donations, crickets. I got one person donating, thank you person. And again, I'm not doing this to like guilt anybody. And I feel this is where I get really weird is like, how do I be honest and show up with what's going on, but also maintain this sort of professional facade? Fuck the facade. I thought, what is really important is that I just share with you what's going on. And the challenge for me has been this week, how do I do what I perceive that I am here to do, but when what I'm doing isn't adding up financially and mathematically, right? It's just a numbers game. If I'm sitting down and, doing the math, this plus this equals this minus what I have to make to just cover my bottom line and my rent and my bills and my expenses, I haven't been making enough money. I just wrote my rent check yesterday for March, and I don't have the fucking money in my account. So, okay, Spirit, here I am jumping into the fray of trust and faith, and we'll see how it ends up. And so that's been where my head has been at this week. And last night, I, for the first time in 7 years, really, really found myself asking the question, is this what I want to do? And I've had moments throughout the years, and I've always shared this honestly with you, that I have my tantrums, I have my moments of entitlement, I have my moments where I cross my arms across my chest and I'm like, fuck you, to the Spirit, right? So many middle fingers up to the sky, up to the clouds. But this isn't that. This isn't me throwing a tantrum. This isn't me being entitled and being spoiled and pouting because I didn't get to, buy the new pair of shoes or whatever, or because things are hard and now I'm having a moment of, having a tantrum because I don't want it to be hard. It's me literally asking last night, well, maybe this is not what I am supposed to be doing. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. That's been where my head is at, is like, okay, I used to know that when I would put out a video, I would share what I would share, and then people would book, sessions, and I would have clients, and things where I had this, not really a formula, but there was a cycle that I was aware of, that when I showed up and I shared honestly and openly and did whatever was in front of me, that would usually translate into some sort of support from people booking sessions or signing up for an event or whatever. And that hasn't been the case. That hasn't been the case at all this month. To be perfectly honest, like, you guys want to know the real tea? I have one mentorship client active right now, and that is it. That's it. The rest of my time has been me sitting around going, okay, Spirit, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. And yet, there is this level of awareness that has begun to emerge over the past couple of weeks that is very, very familiar and at the same time very new. And the past couple of weeks have brought everything to a screeching halt. And one thing that I do know is when things come to a screeching halt, as they have, that's always a sign that one of two things is happening. Either there's something going on that I can't see, right? It's being sort of done behind the scenes. It's my non-physical helpers doing what they need to do. Or there's something that I don't see. And I don't know what is what. I don't know if it's that I just don't see something that's very clearly telling me, Andrew, go in this direction. And, my hope is that as I'm sharing this is going to spark something for you, because the one thing that I know how to do is show up and talk. That much I know for sure. That much I know for sure. So apologies in advance if this comes off as me whining, because I'm not whining. I'm just sharing with you really honestly and openly about where I am right now. And there's this level of awareness that seems to have sort of popped in that feels very old, but very recent. It feels like this part of myself that I have rejected and denied. And it's finally coming back into my awareness. And the image that I have, thank you. You guys are so sweet. I really do appreciate the support. I'm reading your comments as they're coming up, and I really, really do appreciate it. It's fucking stressful. It's difficult. And where I was this week, putting so much pressure on myself, and like YouTube channel is a perfect example. This dude that I follow on Instagram, he's been doing his YouTube channel for like 6 months, and he's already got over 1 million followers, and he's got videos with over 1 million hits. So I'm like, okay, what is he doing? And I go and I look at his content, and I'm like, He's not doing anything other than regurgitating shit that he just read in a book that someone else wrote. He is doing zero original content. And so this is the pressure that I put on myself. It's like, what is it going to take for me to be able to break through? I feel like the past 6 years have been me trying to break through. And last night was like, okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm never going to break through. Maybe this is done. Maybe I am supposed to move in a new direction. So I literally was like bringing up my resume. I haven't looked at my resume in that's not true, because there was a period several years ago where I was working part-time jobs, but I haven't looked at my resume in at least for 3-4 years. Like, I was at that point last night of like, maybe it's just time to hang it all up. Maybe there's something else for me that I'm just not seeing. I don't know. I just don't know. And when I don't know, what I do know is that when I don't know, that means it's time for me to just sit and to just be, to let myself off the hook, to set down my burdens. And so that's what I did. Because one thing that came into my awareness was this part of myself. And here's the way that I envision it. It's like those Russian nesting dolls, which, by the way, as an aside, if you haven't watched Russian Doll on Netflix, oh my God, mind blowing. And as I was sitting this morning sort of thinking about like, okay, I'm going to do a video and what am I going to talk about? Like, there are so many layers in this Russian Doll movie, and it really does help me sort of look at my life in a different perspective of, when we're in this loop, when we're in a Groundhog Day, to me, that's always an opportunity to really look at things and go, okay, what is it that I am not seeing? How can I get out of my own sort of navel gazing, like self-absorbed moment, open my eyes and broaden my perspective to see what is really present rather than what I am projecting? So this level of self that emerged was like a Russian doll. So those nesting dolls, right? There's the little teeny one in the center that's like the solid one. And then there's, the layer of another doll, and then another doll, and another doll, and another one. And there's, I don't know, usually 5 or 6 dolls. And it starts out as this big, and then you pull off the top, and there's a little one, and you pull off the top. You know what a Russian doll is. And the best way that I can describe this level of awareness was like, it is the one that is in the center. It is the original level of the nesting doll. It is the core. It is the center. It is the bottom, the foundation. And I tuned into this awareness, and it just sort of opened up in my awareness. And I was like, okay, I've never really connected with this part of myself before. And if I have, it's been a long time because I don't remember it. And so I sat and I was quiet and I was still, and I really, really dug into that part of myself, and it was sitting sort of in the solar plexus, like it was kind of in the gut, but it felt like beyond just the chakra. And it felt like I could locate the point in my body where this awareness sort of expresses itself, but it almost felt like it wasn't of me. I know this may not be making any sense, but I'm just going to share with you what I have and what I know. And it felt like this part of myself was the closest to my non-physical self that I could be while still informed. Does that make sense? Like, if I imagine it, it's like, imagine that there's like a membrane. I'll just use a piece of paper. So imagine that this piece of paper is like the membrane between physical and non-physical, right? So here's my physical self and here's my non-physical self, right? So this could be my higher self, creator self, whatever you want to call it. And then here's Andrew. So there's this part of me that is backed up against the veil that separates the physical and the non-physical worlds. And it feels like the part of myself that I am connected to now is this part of me that is on the membrane, literally, these two sides. It's like if you had a pane of glass and I was on one side and you were on the other, and we had our hands stuck up against the window. The only thing that was separating this part of myself from that non-physical self was this very, very thin membrane. And so I tuned into this part of myself and I said, like, who are you? What do you want me to know? What's up? And it said, I am the part of you that is the truest part of you that exists in physical. I am the essence of who you are in form, and I know exactly who you are, what you came here to do, what your purpose is, what your path is, and all of that. I am basically your librarian to your own personal Akashic records. I know everything that you have done. I know everything that you are from the Creator self. Like, I have access to all of that information. And I said, okay, well then where the hell have you been? Why now? Like, where the fuck were you 20 years ago? And the answer was, because you locked me up. Because you shut me out. And I understand why you shut me out. Because I am the part of you that is not interested in comfort. I am the part of you that really, honestly, truly does not care what other people think or say about who you are and what you do. I am the part of you that knows what you came here to do and will follow that purpose at all costs. So I am the part of you that takes risks. I am the part of you that is not invested in the external world. I am the part of you that doesn't care about how to properly market yourself or what a business person should do. I feel like Chris Farley. Living in a van down by the river, which, by the way, is where I'm going to fucking be if I can't pay my rent. But this part of me, give me a heart emoji, give me a thumbs up let's just go start a fucking colony living down in a van down by the river. Thumbs up if you would do that with me. But this part of me was saying, like, basically the message that I got was, I have nothing to lose and I have nothing to gain. Whether you do what you came here to do or not has nothing to do with me. And I can do that. If we don't get it done this lifetime, then hey, we can do it the next time. This part of me is essentially sort of waiting for me to get over myself. The sense that I have gotten in the communication. And by the way, this level of my awareness is not really talkative. So when I tune into this level of my awareness, it's not really a dialogue. It's a sense of, like, when I go in this direction, does it feel like this part of me is invested and interested? And if the answer is no, then the question of whether or not I should do this rests solely on my shoulders. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But this part of me essentially is sort of waiting for me to get over myself. It's like this part of me is saying, as soon as you are done investing in the illusion, as soon as you are done trying to please people, as soon as you are done trying to do what you think is spiritually correct, then we can get on with it. As soon as you are done second guessing yourself and doubting yourself, then I'm here and we can proceed. But until then, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to move forward because it's impossible for you to. Very clearly, there is this level of awareness that is expanding into our conscious perception. That is really, really, really requiring us to show up clear, connected, engaged, in faith, in trust. And it's an either or thing. It's like everything that we have been talking about, everything that we have been working on in terms of ways to, our tools and our coping mechanisms and how we manage ourselves and the way that we sort of raise our vibration or whatever, our inner work. It's like all of this stuff that we have been talking about and has been sort of abstract and theoretical is now, the rubber's hit the road, my friends. It's like you've got to put it into action. You've got to step forward now and do this. Like you can't just, it's not just a motivational poster on the wall anymore. It's that, do you really believe that you are this infinite, powerful creator? And if you don't, then that's okay. But you can't really proceed until you start to really sort of center yourself around this level of awareness. And it reminds me of one of the lessons that used to come through a lot several years ago, which was on a spiritual journey and on this awakening journey as we're coming back to ourselves. We don't have to give up everything, but we must be willing to give up everything. And I'm not just talking about material stuff, but relationships, beliefs, stories, jobs, locations, apartments, bodies. I mean, we have to be willing to put it all on the line to ourself and say, okay, self, I don't know. I don't know. So that's what I did. Earlier this week, I had a moment. I was talking with a friend, and this was sort of in the peak of this intensity and this anxiety and this worry that I was having about, okay, I don't have money to pay rent, and rent is due in 3 days, and I don't know what, I don't have any clients coming in, like no one signed up for my March events, like all of these things that were in my head, and you don't have this many followers. It was just this critical, and my inner, district manager was being so intense with all of the ways that I had failed. So I was talking to a friend, and and he does this work too, and we were talking about, we've both been sort of in this place of challenge and difficulty. So we were saying okay, I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what to do. And he, was helpful, and he kind of reminded me of some things, and he talked me off the ledge. And then that night, I had a good cry, and I just let it all go, and I said, okay, I'm setting it down. I am setting my burdens down. I am setting them down and asking for help. I am setting them down, and I'm humbling myself to the truth that I don't know what I need right now. I don't have the answers. I don't know what it's going to take for me to turn my situation around. I said, and this was me talking to this level of myself, which really just felt like it was literally the embodiment of my creator self. And I have a sense that that's really what it is that our creator self is finally now really rooting into our physical self and is present within the body now. And so I am happy to take a back seat to that level of wisdom, because this level of myself knows a hell of a lot more than I do at this point. So I said, okay, I'm setting it all down, and I am with you, and I am present, and until further notice, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to journal. I'm going to find the thing that feels the most joyful or peaceful or neutral in the moment, and I'm going to do that. And I'll check in with this level of myself. And if I'm moving in a direction where I can tell this level of myself is not invested, then I'll stop and I'll ask the question, is this something that I want to do alone? Is this something that I think I can do by the force of my will alone? Is this something that just requires my ego? Because what I'm realizing more and more is that when I am in my ego, I am not in my spirit. When I am creating from that place of, I need this many followers, I didn't get that many response, when I'm in that place of only measuring my success by those metrics, by those numbers, by the stupid, ephemeral, meaningless stuff, I know that it's time for me, when I'm here, that I have an opportunity to drop into my center, to drop into my core and get a deeper level of awareness. So that's what I've been doing this week, is just sitting and just being. And it is fucking faith and trust. I mean, we're talking like master level PhD stuff here. And if what I need is to have the challenge of financial difficulty right now, I don't want that. I don't want to not be able to pay my bills and pay my rent. But if that's what's in front of me, I have to meet it where it is. I can't resist that. So that's where I am. I'm willing to let it all go. And last night was me in this place of, well, maybe I'm done. Maybe I really am moving into something else. Maybe this work isn't what I came here to do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe what I thought I was doing or supposed to do was completely wrong. So I'm going to turn off my heater. It's like 1,000 degrees in here right now. And last night I had to seriously entertain that possibility. And that's why I got out my resume and started looking at it. And I was like, well, I have no I have no idea what I would do. I haven't worked in an office since 2012. I haven't worked for somebody else. I've done readings at other shops, but I was working at a retail store, a consignment shop, I think it was 2015 or 16. And that was really the last time that I was doing anything that I would call a muggle job. And I literally was at that moment last night of like, all right, well, maybe I'm just done. Maybe it's time to hang up Andrew Martin energy. Maybe I'm just done and I just don't get it. Maybe I just don't see it. So I laid that on the line. I put that down. And I said, okay, Spirit, thy will be done. Thy will be done, because that's all I have left. All I have left is surrender. Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I don't know how I'm going to turn around the current client desert that I'm in the middle of. I don't know what it's going to take for me to figure out an event that I can put out there that, when 800 people or 700 something people are clicking on the link and only 30 of them are signing up. Yeah, I can trust that those are only the 30 people that needed to show up, and I get that. But from my perspective of the practical, earthbound Andrew who has to pay the bills and write the checks, I'm looking at, well, maybe there's just something I'm not seeing. If less than 10%, if 5% of the people that click on the link are actually following through, then maybe there's something I'm just not seeing. So that's where I am. I don't know. I don't know. And not I don't know in this sense, right? Like if I'm honest with myself, and I talked about this kind of in the beginning, this is not a tantrum of like, I don't know. I don't fucking know, Spirit. And until you fucking come down here in a golden chariot with an engraved invitation, I'm not going to do anything. No, it's not that. It's this, I don't know. I don't know, Spirit. I don't know. You have led me here, and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to be present, and I'm going to let it all go. That's all I can do. I am literally out of options. And this is surrender on a level that I have never experienced before. I thought I knew what surrender was. I thought I knew. Man, I had no clue. It's like that sort of hubris or that cockiness or that arrogance of like, an early 20-something who thinks, oh, I got it figured out. I know. Bitch, you couldn't tell me anything when I was 20 years old. I knew it all. Or so I thought. I had no idea what surrender is. There is always a deeper level of trust. There is always a deeper level of faith. There is always a deeper level of truth and of, that's what I'm realizing is just when I think I have peeled it back, I see that I haven't even scratched the surface. So what does March have in store? I don't know. I don't know. And it's been a very interesting thing because I do have some sources that I seek. There's a couple of astrologers that I follow. There's a couple of, sort of channels that I follow that share, messages every week or every month or whatever. And so I've been sort of referring to them and saying, well, maybe they have some wisdom. Nope. Everything I read, I'm like, I just don't know. And no one else does either. I'm going to tell you that. Nobody does. Nobody does. I'm on Facebook and I belong to some of these spiritual groups and I pop in from time to time and I see, the 12th dimensional grids and the matrix of the halls of blah, 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 the influx of cosmic codes. Hold on, dear ones. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck does that even mean? And, that starts to poke into these questions around all of this spiritual knowledge and this spiritual information, if it's not practical, if it doesn't help me move the mark, if it doesn't point me in a place where I can go inside, it's like, what is the point? And if this is someone, I see this time to time in my own work. And one of the things that I have always really tried to do was to make my work practical and accessible and applicable from the perspective of you can start using this information today to start creating shifts in your life now. So when I find myself in this place of not knowing how to shift it, of not being able to put my tools to work, of not being able to use my methods in a way that is successful, right? It really puts me in this place of calling it all into question. And, my question has always been, if someone is a single parent and, struggling to feed their kids and to keep a roof over their head and, working 2 or 3 jobs, just busting their butt to not even make it, like, what the hell does the 12th dimensional matrix of the crystalline codes, how the fuck does that help anybody? And so I've been kind of quiet on social media the past couple of weeks because I haven't really felt, number one, I haven't felt guided to share anything. And number two, I haven't felt like what I've had to share is practical or applicable or helps you move the mark. And that's always been my thing, is I don't want to post just to post. I'm not here just to create noise. There's enough noise out there. And if the 12th dimensional matrix of crystalline code speaks to you, that's amazing. And I'm certainly not judging that as knowledge, but what I'm saying for myself is when I'm in this place, nothing matters. And what I mean by that is nothing matters in terms of external information. It feels as if we are in this place where everything external has been taken away. It's like the doors have come down and it is really time for us to be within with this level of ourself that has just taken root in physicality and is starting to wake up and open up. And you know what? The truth is, the big picture is never anything that I'm worried about. Like, if shit goes south, I'll sell everything I own and move in with my mom. Like, I don't care. But it's in these moments of the day-to-day, of the moment-to-moment of like, how do I turn this around? How do I turn this around? How do I pay my bills when I have, a $2,300 rent check out there and I think I have less than $70 in my bank account right now? Like, how do I really, all right, Spirit, if there was ever a time for you to reinstate my powers of magic of, poof, there's a pile of money, I don't know. I don't know. And in a sense, that is the most liberating place to be. Because when I don't know, then I can let it all go. When I don't know, I can let it all go. And I can just say, all right, Spirit, when it's time, it's time. And I trust that when it's time, I'll know. And until then, I don't know what to fucking do. I guess start packing my shit, because if rent doesn't come in the next couple days, I'm screwed. So I know that I have become this source. And this is the other thing, this morning I was thinking this is sort of more of that pressure. My inner district manager was saying, there's people who rely on you, Andrew. There are people who are waiting for the March video. There are people, who need the information that you have. And I was like, well, I don't have anything. I don't know what to share. I don't know what to do. And the answer was, then share that. And since the beginning, my guides have told me, or I have told myself, because I don't even really know, that was the other thing, is last night I was lighting a candle to Spirit and I was like, I don't even know who you are. I don't even know what you are. I think you're the source of all things, at least that's what I've been told, but is that true? I don't know. And then lighting a candle to my guides, I don't even know who you are. You are me, and I am you, I guess. I mean, that's what they tell me, but I don't know. But anyway, one of the things that I have heard, a message I have received, because I can say, okay, at least I know I got a message from who, I don't know, the message was just share that. Just show up. Just show up. And the message that I got in the beginning was, Andrew, your job is not to find clients. Your job is not to make money. Your job is to show up and share your truth. And that is where everything comes from. And so, I absolutely completely own the reality. I don't even know what I was just going to say. It's gone. And that's okay. Oh, I know what it is. I know that I put all this pressure on myself. I know that I always try to, and this is me. Whenever I'm putting pressure on myself, whenever I'm in a state of panic or of fear, it's because I'm in here. I know that. And I think questioning and doubt is healthy to a degree because it keeps me honest. It brings me back to the moment. So that's what I've got for you for March so far. I don't know. I have no information. I have no answers. Taking a snapshot of my current situation, I have no money. I have no means to create money right here, right now for myself. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to be. I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to post these videos on my social media accounts. I'm going to take a shower and eat some breakfast. And then I don't know. I really don't know. I think a lot of this has to do with Chiron in Aries, right? Chiron in Aries is, okay, Chiron in Pisces, which we just left, which was there for like 7-8 years. And it was all about here's your pain, here's your wound, here's your pain, here's your wound, here's your pain, here's your wound, live it, love it, experience it, drink it, sleep it, eat it. And now Chiron in Aries is, all right, you know about it. You got the truth, you got the insight, you got the tea, now go. Take action, do something, move forward. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. But I don't know. Right here, right now, Saturday, March 2nd at 11:40 a.m., I, Andrew Martin, have no fucking clue. That's going to be my new website. I have nofuckingclue.com. What I do know is that I am here to help you remember. I am here to help you remember. And I share what I have as I have it. And right now, all I have is I don't know. I don't know. And when I know, I'll share that too. But I don't know. So, if you're interested in Mastery Mentorship, I currently have a lot of space in my calendar. If you're interested in booking an intuitive session, an energy session, or a standalone coaching session, that's the other thing, is I've started offering coaching sessions as a single service. So for those of you who maybe don't want to commit to the full 7 weeks for the Mastery Mentorship, or you're not sure you can afford it, or if you've gone through the Mastery Mentorship and you just want sort of a touch-up, right, a check-in, I offer that session as a standalone. I do have a link for you to donate via Cash App, so I will share that. So if you're feeling generous, I guess I could have a bake sale to help raise money for my rent fund, although I think the Girl Scouts have probably maxed everybody else out on cookies for the time being. Anyway, I also have the event on the 20th coming up, the equinox full moon portal activation. For the first time in almost 20 years, the equinox and the full moon fall on the same day. And for the first time in almost 40 years, the equinox and the full moon are exact at almost the same time. So this is going to be a powerful portal, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Tomorrow is 3-3 and 2019 reduces to 3, so tomorrow is 3-3-3. What does that mean? I don't know. It's a portal of something to do with Venus, I guess. That's what they tell me. That's what I read on Facebook. I have no fucking idea. So that's it, y'all. Happy March. I will say this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the support, for the love, for the time and the attention that you give me, for showing up and spending, 45 minutes, half an hour, however long it's been for this message, to just hear me talk about my own fucking life and how I have no fucking clue. It is an honor and a privilege to have an audience, and I never lose sight of that. So regardless of where we go from here, thank you, because it means the world. And I have to tell you, I was really, really nervous about today's live stream. And I don't really get nervous in that way. So I guess that's a good thing, right? Is that when I'm nervous, I know I'm moving outside of my comfort zone. When I'm feeling a little anxiety, I know it's because I'm stepping across the threshold into something new. So that's good. That's a positive thing. But I thank you for showing up. I really do so appreciate you. Those of you who sent me messages checking in like, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Thank you. And everything's fine. Like, here's the deal. I'm not in a bad place emotionally, or like I'm not in a crisis. Maybe a little bit of a financial crisis, but I'm not in a crisis. I'm just in that place of it is raw, it is real, and it is unescapable. So be lost. Be in the don't know. Be in the discomfort. Be in the confusion. Be in the fog, be in the funk, be in the fuzzy, I don't know, the static, the noise, just be there. Because if nothing else, the one thing that we always have is our connection to ourself. And so the last thing I'm going to do in this moment of intensity is turn on myself, right? And I see that as a pattern. That so often I turn on myself. What have you done wrong, Andrew? What haven't you figured out? Why aren't you doing this? What's going on? So stop. And just hold yourself gently. Hold yourself delicately. Hold yourself with love and compassion. And trust. This is just a cloud passing in front of the sun. And it's going to go too. All things will pass. Nothing is permanent except for love and Cher and cockroaches and herpes. But other than Cher and cockroaches and herpes, nothing is forever. I am going to put a link to my Cash App. I'll put that in the donation. I'll put that in the link so you can donate via Cash App. If you also want to just send me money via PayPal, I don't have PayPal anymore. I have Cash App, I have Google Wallet, I have Zelle, and I have Circle. So if you're interested in donating and you don't know how, send me an email and I'll send you the information on how to do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your love and support. I really do feel the love and I appreciate it. And that's it. I love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Keep your eyes open for what's coming up in March. I have the thing on the 20th for the equinox. I may pull something else out of my hat. We'll see. And my calendar's wide open. So if you've ever wanted an appointment with me and haven't been able to do it because of scheduling conflicts, now's the time. If you're interested in mastery mentorship, it is wide open. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah! Bye.